What's going on, guys? Hope you're all keeping well. I had a good Christmas and a new year, and you're all happy and healthy and ready for 2024. Let's kick it off with a retro review, shall we? And why not? It's round the corner. Royal Rumble time, baby. Let's talk about Royal Rumble 1992, the greatest Royal Rumble of all time, bar none. No one gets anywhere near this. For me, this was fantastic. The story of Ric Flair coming in at number 3. Never been done before previously. No one through numbers 1 to 5 had been there at the end, like Monsoon continuously lets us know and reminds us that, yeah, no one's ever done it before. So, Flair coming in at number 3, you thought he didn't stand a chance. The long list of Hall of Famers, legends. You got about 8 or 9 former, future World Heavyweight Champions in this match. Fantastic from start to finish. And the icing on the cake was Bobby the Brain Heenan. We will get to that in a little bit. Let's run through the rest of this show, because while this was the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time, this may not be the greatest Royal Rumble show of all time. There is a difference here. There is a difference, because this was, while this show had the greatest Royal Rumble match, the pre-show for me was kind of underwhelming. Starts off with the new foundation. Now, the Hart Foundation had split a little while previously. They dropped the titles at WrestleMania. They had a couple more matches, and then, yeah, they were done by now. Bret Hart was a singles guy. He'd won the Intercontinental Championship by now at SummerSlam against Mr. Perfect. And, yeah, he was moving on his own, really, and leaving Jim Neidhart way behind. Jim Neidhart had formed a new tag team with a new wrestler by the name of Owen Hart. While this sounded, Owen Hart, back then, for us as wrestling fans, we'd never seen anyone like Owen Hart before. The way he moved, the way he was in the ring. If you'd only watched WWF back then, you'd never seen anyone like Owen Hart before. That is why he was so amazing. That is why it was kind of exciting to see him in the ring and have him teaming with Jim Neidhart, the new foundation. On paper, it sounds fantastic. And how could they mess this up? I'll tell you how, by dressing him up as MC Hammer. The Hammer pants were not it. They were not the answer. They looked fucking ridiculous. They were doomed from the start wearing that crap. If they had got them some decent clobber, some decent ring gear, it might have actually worked, this tag team. But they looked absolutely ridiculous, and Jim Neidhart had seen better days. He'd obviously very tired, very injury prone at that point. He wasn't at his best anymore. Owen had to carry most of the team. It wasn't a bad match really to open the show against a decent Orient Express, Bad Company previously. Yeah, they were all right. It was a decent opening match. It lasted quite a while. 17 minutes for an opening match is quite a while for two tag teams that don't really matter at this point in the WWF. But yeah, it was a good win for the new foundation, I suppose, trying to get them over, trying to build them up as a new tag team, because the tag team division, while they've got some decent ones, is kind of looking a bit sparse in my opinion. Now, there was an interesting thing going around at this time, an interesting rumour surrounding Bret Hart at this point. And I look back at it now because we're doing this show, and kind of makes sense, the rumour. But if it was, I've never really heard it anywhere else. Bret's never spoken about it in his book. I've never really heard anyone else really talk about this rumour. That around this time, Bret Hart was getting contract offers from WCW. And he was looking to jump ship. He was the Intercontinental Champion at the point. And it was always weird to me why he dropped the belt to the Mountie. Very strange the way they did it. Off TV, dropped the belt, claimed he wasn't well. And it was the Mountie versus Roddy Piper. But the story going in, really, for everyone outside of wrestling and behind the scenes, was what was going on with Bret Hart. Why did he drop the title? And it was because of these contract offers from WCW. They wanted him to jump ship. There was rumours that they wanted to get one over on WWF because previously Ric Flair, only a couple of months earlier, had jumped from WCW to the WWF with the World Championship, and he was parading it around on their TV. And WCW were pissed off about this. There were lawsuits, all sorts going on, and they wanted one back over on WWF, really. They wanted to get Bret Hart over there. According to Meltzer, he's the one who reported on this. Yeah, they wanted Bret Hart over there. They wanted to take the Intercontinental title with them, and that would have been quite a big deal, really, back then. It really would have been. Bret Hart on WCW TV with the Intercontinental Championship. And then it kind of like that moving forward, if you go on to 97 and what happened there with Bret Hart and when he was the world champion and Vince didn't want him to leave with the title, kind of strange all of that, how it all pieces together. Really, really does. And I don't know how true it all was, but it's kind of interesting to go back and look into all of that and that rumour back then that was put out there. Why would it be said? Why would anyone... There must have been... There's no smoke without fire, so something must have been going on back then. Why would they have Bret Hart drop the title to the Mountie on a non-televised show that really meant nothing, and then have the Mountie drop the title days later to Roddy Piper? I don't know. I really don't know. But I wasn't unhappy that Roddy Piper, trust me, he deserved a title of some sort in the WWF. It's a crying shame. It's criminal that he hadn't won a belt previously till this point. Been there nearly, 10 years and not had a title? Not even a sniff of one, really? When you think about it, when you go back and look at it. Did he need a title though? Not really. But it was what it was. Piper wins the Intercontinental Championship in a short 5-minute match against a Mountie. Even back then, I had no belief that the Mountie was going to beat Roddy Piper. So that is what it was. Silly match with the Beverly Brothers and the Bushwhackers. And Jameson, do you remember him? And the Genius. It was just ridiculous. All of that, just stupid. 14 minutes of pure crap. Natural Disasters versus LOD for the tag titles. LOD were the champs, but it ended in a count out for LOD. They lost to the Natural Disasters. Pretty sure Andre the Giant gets involved. And that was the undercard. Pretty lame, really. Pretty lame. But the show was saved. Saved by the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time. I mean, like I said, look at the former and future world champions that were in there. You had Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter, Sid Justice. I mean, and then you got like Hall of Famers like the British Bulldog, Ted DiBiase, Haku, Tito Santana, the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich, Nikolai Volkov, Big Boss Man, Roddy Piper, Jake Roberts, Jim Duggan, Jimmy Snuka, Colonel Mustafa. That's another world champion right there. Formerly known as the Iron Sheik. I mean, it was a long list of legends, world champions. And then, like I said, the cherry on top. Not only the story that was told, but Bobby the Brain Heenan. If you want to talk and point to the GOAT of commentating and play and colour commentating, colour commentating, point to this match, show this match, because this is hit, this is GOATed, this is the greatest of all time. No one can get near this. Every little bit of it, the way he tells the story throughout is just fantastic. This whole match was fantastic. Excuse me. There we go. the way Flair comes in at number 3, you don't think he's going to win it because, like they say, no one from previously in the Royal Rumble from numbers 1 to 5 have been there at the end. Monsoon lets us know about that. And you just don't think that he's going to win it. And there's just some of the way, like when he eliminates the boss man and he's in there on his own and like Heenan's, oh, he's won it! And then out comes Piper. Brilliant moment there. Him and Piper going back and forth, and then Heenan's brilliant on the mic there when Jake Roberts comes in and he gets involved and he attacks Flair and he's going to give him a DDT, and Piper makes a save. He saves Flair and he's like, oh, Roddy, I'm sorry, it's not a skirt, it's a kilt. Thank you, Piper. And then Piper turns around and attacks Flair, and Heenan just turns on him. He's like, oh, you no good, you son of a, you dirty rotten. It's a kilt. It's not a skirt. It's not a kilt. It's a skirt. Absolutely brilliant. Like one of the best lines ever. Like fantastic. And there's others in there like, someone get me a drink and make it a stiff one. Hey dummy, go get me a drink. And like, who is he talking to? But it doesn't matter. It's just fantastic the whole way through. Where's Flair? What's going on with Flair? How long has he been in there for? Just fantastic. Just loses his mind towards the end, and then when Flair wins it, Hogan screwed Sid though. That's like, we don't really talk about that enough, really. Hogan screwed him. No doubt about it. Hogan was eliminated fair and square by Sid. Let's have that right. Because Hogan would have done the same thing to Sid. He would have done. And then Sid does it. Sid eliminates Hogan, and Hogan throws a bitch fit and grabs Sid by the arm. And Flair takes that opportunity and eliminates him. So thanks to Hulk Hogan, Flair is now the world champion. Let's have that right. Hogan helps Flair win the title. There's no way Flair is eliminating Sid on his own. No way. So thanks to Hogan, and he's such an idiot that he's helped Flair win the title. Well done, Hulk. Well done, mate. And then you have him and Sid in the ring, Hogan and Sid in the ring fighting each other. Then you have one of the best backstage promos, interviews of all time. Put that cigarette out. Fantastic. Whoever's smoking a fag backstage. What's going on, man? Who's smoking a fag? Who's smoking a cigarette backstage? And like, yeah, Gene Okerlund, man, put that cigarette out. I'll never forget that. And then Flair just cracks out with one of the best Ric Flair promos of all time, talking about how he's the man now. This is the title that matters. Taking shots at WCW right there. And you talk about your Hulk Hogan, you talk about your Randy Savages. Now you talk about Ric Flair. This was fantastic. The greatest ending, the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time, the greatest ending of all time. Put that cigarette out. I'll see you next time. Put that cigarette out. Put it out.